I guess, one of the things we had all the time that we were always talking about and eating and everything was our set meatballs. Do you remember that? That we had our craft service guy made the same meatballs all the time.
7 seasons to rewatch is a lot.
Yeah.
So what episodes are you kind of cringing maybe the most about rewatching, would you say?
I think for me personally, the first couple of seasons are not going to be the cringy ones.
Oh.
But
I was going to say that. No, I was nodding along, and then it's like, oh, that's exactly the opposite of what I was going to say.
Yeah, for me, the cringy episodes are not the beginning ones. I'm a little worried about once we get into high school and then into college, where some of the Topanga storylines with Corey and, I don't know. I don't even remember a ton of the episodes, but I just know that as the show got older and our characters got older, circumstances and storylines got a little more cringy from my memory of them than like the more innocent storylines at the beginning. And I know Will finds it cringy to be watching the early episodes because he's so hard on himself about his acting.
My acting. Yeah, the first few episodes are pretty tough to watch. But yeah, it's also because none of us really, I did something I wasn't supposed to do, and I went forward, not watching the show, but I clicked on Disney Plus just to see some of the episode titles from the future seasons, and I didn't remember like 80% of them.
Wow.
So I know there's going to be things coming up that none of us remember that we're all going to go, oh, wow, that's not a good thing at all. Ryder and I talk about one of the things is the constant kissing. Like we were kissing girls every week, and it was kind of creepy the way it kept happening. And there was never a story that it's not like the actresses had wonderful storylines. It was just like, you're there to kiss us that week. It was really kind of gross.
Also, it's not super fun to watch your teenage self making out.
Yeah.
That's not something you really want to look back on.
Yeah.
Thankfully, most people don't have video of that.
No.
Exactly.
Millions of homes, though.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's we are very much, it's one of the things that's fun is we're very much taking this journey with everyone because we haven't seen it either in a long time. So it'll be fun to go back and kind of experience it together.
I know all of you have the fans love the Halloween episode, of course, so there's definitely standouts.
Yeah.
What other episodes are you, on the flip side, excited to kind of dig into?
We, at this point in the podcast, have only, as far as episodes I've been in, have only seen one that I've been in. So Topanga didn't start at the first episode. She was the 4th episode of the show. And then it took a few episodes before she was in the series more. So I'm really looking forward to an episode we've talked about on the podcast already, is an episode where Topanga has a crush on Eric. And I don't remember any of the circumstances of the episode. Like, how did I see Eric? Like, how does it come about? But I know that I ended up at the Matthews house, and there's a scene where I like lean in to kiss him, and he puts his palm on my face to stop me. And I'm looking forward to watching it because I have such vivid memories of that week and how fun it was to be acting outside of the school classroom, which is the only place I had ever really been allowed as an actor. And to work with Will, who I normally would not get to work with.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those episodes where I have like personal memories about them.
I'm looking forward to some of the later ones as well. I mean, there's certain ones that step out. I mean, that is a great episode, but there's other ones that step out to me, like Karina was her name on the show, the woman who came and sang and played Shallow Boy episode. And she came to the table read with her guitar, and she sung every song at the table read and was so amazing.
Yes.
And just stole that episode. So I can't wait to see if she's as good as I remember her being, which I'm sure she's going to be. She went on to become a big star in the L Word. And she was in a great band of a CD you bought.
You're hysterical in that episode. I actually remember that episode.
Really?
You saying, I don't want to, you're like, she's like, you want me to leave? Like, I want to just send you to Planet Fluke.
Oh,
and you like go off on her in the diner, and it's one of the funniest scenes ever.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm looking forward in the first season, there's an episode where Ben and I play old men.
Oh,
and we went through like hours of makeup, and it's one of those things that like we used to quote as a cast for the rest of the season. They want you to take the roles. And then people have made t-shirts with that same line. Yeah. So it's one of those moments where like our experience making the show had these like in-jokes lines that we thought were funny that the fans completely independently also picked up and loved. And so there's been this weird feedback loop. So I'm looking forward to those kinds of moments.
You must get this all the time, of course, just fun BTS things the fans wouldn't know about. You know, anything like they could tell us whose trailer was next to who, what did you do between scenes? I'm kind of thinking like that go-to Jen Aniston had the same lunch for 10 years on the Friends set. Like anything like that comes to mind.
I thought you were talking about favorite BTS songs, and Mic Drop is still one of my favorites out there. I thought that's what we were talking about.
He's so young and cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone can be as hip as me. Thank you. I'm a big Blackpink fan too. We'll get into all this later. But I don't know. We certainly, I guess, one of the things we had all the time that we were always talking about and eating and everything was our set meatballs. Do you remember that? That we had our craft service guy made the same meatballs all the time. You don't remember? I was a vegetarian. I remember that. That's right. So the real people on the show were eating these amazing meatballs, to the point where when we interviewed a bunch of our writers at the end for a video that Ryder and I did, something like fully 80% of them were like, I'm gonna miss the meatballs. I'm gonna miss the meatballs more than anything else.
What's something that's come up that, this isn't a very specific story, but it's just been interesting when we started the podcast to realize that actually a lot of our memories are of being in school together, the actual set school, which is something fans have no idea of what that's like. But we were spending 3 to 4 hours a day in a room with 2 teachers and all of us kids, everybody working on their own subject. And that's really where we socialized. That's really where we hung out. And that's
where we exchanged personal stories.
Yeah.
Because on set,
you're working.
Yeah. And if you're talking too much in between, rehearsal times, you're getting in trouble. So there really wasn't a lot of time for that. But the leisurely stroll back to school, where they really want us to be running back to school, but we'd take our time, stop at craft service, and
have meatballs.
That's where we'd really get to talk about what was going on in our lives, and really where so much of our friendship was formed.
And that's when I was with Tony, because they were younger than me. So I was only in school the first year. And then so Tony and I would go off and do something, and then he was in that motorcycle accident, and I was just sit there like this, just eating meatballs by myself. Yeah. It was really not just waiting for BTS to be created. So it just was what it was at that point.
We also went to an Aerosmith concert together.
That was fun. I have that picture. We all 20 feet from here.
Backstage.
We all got to go backstage and meet Aerosmith.
That was really cool.
And so, although that's not behind the scenes on our set, that's I don't think most people know that the 4 of us went to Aerosmith. That was my very first concert.
It was awesome. Was it really? It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch football every day with the kids from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
That was that was our gym class.
Yeah.
So we had little things that were solely ours that were kind of cool, but we always switched up lunches. I couldn't imagine having the same lunch every day for 10 years.
Just the meatballs. Just the meatballs.
Just the meatballs.
I love that. Well, it's obviously going to take a very long time to get to the series finale, of course, on your podcast.
No, it's episode 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
These are 127-hour episodes. It's Critical Role, but pod watching. So it's going to be great. You're going to love it.